good day to you, everyone out there listening. This is the Pony 411 podcast, where we talk about ponies in the news and videos and music and fan art sometimes and other things. And it's a lot of fun. And, well, we think it's a lot of fun. You guys might hate it, but whatever. This is our 21st episode, and this is the week of... What is the week? It's like January 7th tomorrow? Yeah, so January 6th, 7th, somewhere around there. So we're back to talk on an off week. There was no new episode this week, so we have other things to talk about that aren't in any way, shape, or form about any episodes. So, actually kind of a little bit, but more on that later. First of all, for the first time since we started this podcast, all 5 of the people who were usually featured on it are in the same room, the same Skype call at least,
virtual room.
Same virtual room.
And, it took us 21 weeks to do it.
Yes, it's definitely a major feat, because a lot of us are very busy and have a lot of things and this and that, but we finally have made it work. And those people that are here include Nemesis.
Hi.
Art Fan.
Hello.
Fusion Fox.
Hello.
And joining us again after a while of not joining us, which we're really excited about, Lord Funky Fist.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fusion again.
Every one of the names is me.
The Fusion Fox podcast about Fusion Fox, starring Fusion Fox.
With some ponies.
Some ponies, I guess. I am 4-String, and thank you for listening, as always. And check out other episodes before this if you ever want to get an idea of what we do. Except don't listen to our first episode or any other episodes kind of near that because they were really bad. But not that these aren't bad, but those are worse. So
maybe you should stop listening and come back.
Don't listen to anything before the previous.
Just pause. Yeah, that's right. As we usually start off with the episode, we got some quick hits, and that's basically just some news from the fandom. Don't have much this week, just a couple minor, quick little things. I guess that's why they call them quick hits. And first of all, to start off, recent rumors have had veteran voice actor Grey DeLisle as potentially voicing Derpy Hooves in some capacity, as per a tweet from and fan interaction with DeLisle herself. Sounds like the rumors are true to an extent. DeLisle will be voicing the character in an upcoming fan-made project. So, not really sure what that project is just yet, but we'll let you know when it comes out in case you want to hear Grey DeLisle, a.k.a. The babysitter on Fairly Odd Parents. I can't think of her. Vicky.
Oh, Vicky. Yeah.
Among others, of course. Voice Derpy. We'll see. Now,
I hope it isn't Vicky's voice.
That would be pretty funny. I agree. Now, after a brief affiliation, pony news site The Round Stable announced that it has cut ties with Everfree Network. The site maintained that it will still report on relevant show interviews and con coverage from Everfree or otherwise. So, best of luck to them as they head on back out on their own, which I guess is how they started, so I guess it won't be too big a deal. Anywho, in convention news, Trotcon is bringing Emily Jones of Everfree Network's Pegasisters Live to Columbus, Ohio for its 2013 con. Also announced to be in attendance recently are artist Purple Kikleon. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Pokemon. And Summer Hayes of My Little Pony Con, which is happening in Indianapolis this year. So definitely hit up that convention if you are interested in seeing any of those 3 people. You might even see me there, so we'll see. Now, would you like to sing Happy Birthday to Lee Tockar?
No,
Movie
it never
Specs?
crossed my mind.
Well, if it did, Movie Specs is putting together a video for the voice actor for his upcoming birthday on February 11th. To get involved, one must make a video of them singing Happy Birthday with at least one participant in the video wearing a mustache. The deadline for participation is February 3rd, and submissions must be sent to ariarogue@gmail.com. So warm up those pipes, Art. I know you're going to submit something.
No, that's okay.
Do I have to be wearing someone else's mustache?
Yes, you have to rip them off from their face, and
cool.
It's going to be really bloody, but it's going to be worth it, because he'll have a happy birthday, and that's all that matters. Finally, GameStop has tossed up an article about the Fighting is Magic game that has taken the fandom by storm. To read, click the link in the description, wherever you're listening from, either YouTube or Libsyn. If you're listening on iTunes, then just find it on GameSpot's website. I might have said GameStop earlier, and if I did, I apologize. I meant GameSpot. I would get those two mixed up. No. GameSpot, not GameStop. GameSpot.
GameStop is where you go and stop to go buy some games. So.
Yes, GameSpot is where you go spot to what? I don't know.
We almost had something. No.
This close. So anyway, coming next week, ladies and gentlemen, will be it should be at least tentatively a review of the second IDW comic, which just released a couple days ago for My Little Pony. We're waiting for Nemesis to get his copy so that we can do that. Yay. So be looking for that next week. But so because we don't have that going on this week, that means we have one topic to discuss. Usually this would be the episode review or just where we talk about the episode and ramble for a couple hours. But we don't have that this week. We don't have that to work. We don't have that. That's right. So instead, if Fusion Fox had a podcast about himself, would it just be called Fox News? I mean, that's what I call it. Anyway.
Oh man.
Good night, everybody.
Fox News, then a :3 at the end of it.
So you add that to differentiate it. So it's not the real Fox News. It's Fox News :3.
It is all news about foxes.
So many foxes. You're gonna talk about Rita from that one. What is the name of that cartoon that it's like Dutch or something that all the furries are all super into, that little fox? Oh God, I'll think of this later. And yeah,
the stupid fox one.
No,
or is it animated or?
It's an animated film.
Oh, I have no idea.
I know. Whatever. Whatever. Anyway, but we have one topic this week, and as many of you now know, it is 2013. It is no longer 2012. So
when did that happen?
It happened a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah.
It was weird. It just like all of a sudden it was like, hey, it's 2013, guys. And it's like, whoa, what?
Didn't
really?
End. By the way,
they should really plan it out and tell people before it happens. I mean,
I know. I think everybody was just really worried about the world ending. That they just kind of forgot. They're like, hey, the world didn't end. Oh wait, and also now it's 2013. But we're not going to talk about 2013. We're actually going to talk about 2012 today. And we would have talked about last week, but no, not at all. And we would have talked about last week, but we had Spike at Your Service to talk about, so might as well say that to this week. But we're going to talk about 2012 and what it meant for My Little Pony, for the ponies. It's kind of a retrospective, and really, it's not so much a retrospective in the sense that we're going to talk about every single little thing that happened, every big thing. It's more of a kind of a what did 2012 mean to us in terms of the show, the fandom, whatever. What were some of our favorite things, least favorite things? What will we take from it? When we look back on 2012 for ponies, we'll be like, what was the thing that really stands out? If anything, if nothing stands out, then whatever. But if anything does at all, I guess we're going to talk about that. So you get to hear us ramble about that for a while, and maybe some of your favorite things were our favorite things, and vice versa. And as always, be sure to join the conversation on Twitter or in the comment section of wherever you're listening if you want to tell us what some of your favorite things were as well.
Or send a carrier pigeon.
Or send a carrier. That's right. You could do that. I send those daily. So, but I guess we'll start off with Fusion Fox.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're gonna put him on the spot here. Fusion, what? Talk to us about 2012 in terms of ponies for you. You know what? What are you gonna take from it?
Did you pony responsibly?
Did you pony responsibly in 2012?
My New Year's resolution is to pony responsibly. So
Pony
maybe this year will be the year that I learn from my deadly mistakes of the past. But I mean, really, the year has been kind of the year in which ponies have become less of a part of my life personally, just because I've become so much busy with everything else. Because it's been like the year I kind of graduated and got a new job and moved and got engaged. So, you know, a lot of big things have been happening in my life. Whereas, like, the end of last year, I was probably, like, you know, kind of getting more and more into ponies. But they've, like, had to kind of take a back seat in my life, kind of. But I do know that I have kind of watched and been impressed at how kind of big they have become and how big the fandom has become. Because obviously this has been the year of, like, BronyCon being the huge thing that it was and all the other conventions popping up that there weren't in previous years. So, I mean, it was pretty impressive to see just how big, like, towards the end of season 2 and then, like, ramping up when the new season came out, just how big it was with all the fans supporting the TV show and the episodes, but also all the fan content that's been produced. I mean, it's just been, like, insane. It's been non-stop. I can't keep up with it all. So, but I don't know. It's just kind of impressive and nice to see, and all the kind of nice things that have come of it. I think that's what I'll take from it.
Okay. Any like favorite moments or anything in particular there?
Like from the episodes or?
From the episodes, I guess it could also include, you know, did you have a song that really stood out to you this year, either from the episodes or from the community in general? Anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of great fan songs. I haven't been keeping up with all of them, so I won't really want to comment on that. I think this Day Aria was probably one of the most impressive songs to come out of this year from the show itself, just from how kind of addicted to it I got, just listening to it over and over again. And there's just been a lot of great. I thought the finale of season 2 was pretty amazing, and too many Pinkie Pies. It's the episode we've all been waiting for, obviously, all of this time. So,
of course.
Oh, and the Smile song. I will not finish without mentioning the Smile song. I think that is actually my favorite of just like the entire thing. So there you go.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. How about let's move on to Lord Funky Fist.
Oh.
And get his opinions. You know, same questions there, pretty much. You know, what are you going to take away from 2012 in terms of ponies, if anything, once again at all?
Other than the fact that ponies are a serious business,
Oh well, certainly, yeah.
Yeah,
you, like, make podcasts about them, and sometimes it's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy just talking about it with everyone else.
Who does that?
Yeah, but I think I have to also notice, like, that it just feels weird that, like, I guess I never thought about it too much, but I guess looking at it right now, it just feels like, man, like, the show and, like, the fans and everything has just gotten pretty big, just with, you know, more merchandise coming out and more of it actually being, like, up to, like, show standards, or, like, that people actually, like, want to buy and stuff like that, and just seeing, like, I guess more cover for it. I mean, just like as you mentioned, the quick hits, Gamespot had that article for Finding His Magic, and that was a pretty, like, I thought it was gonna be just like a short article, but that was like 4 or 5 pages, I think. So they really went in depth about it. So it's like it just seems like it's just crossing over into other things, and I didn't even know about this until like yesterday when a friend showed me where there's a show called I forget the name of it. It's that show with Betty White, Hot in Cleveland.
Oh, is that way? There's also Betty White off their rockers or something like that.
No, but it's Hot in Cleveland, yeah, because like it wasn't off her, but
okay.
They even had like a joke or like a thing with like bronies in one episode apparently. So like it's just going to show, I guess, like this I guess you can call phenomena is becoming more, I guess, more mainstream and more well known, even though it's been kind of getting that way. And but I guess it just seems like, like on retrospect, like lately, it just feels like it has gotten a lot bigger than I guess I probably would have thought. Especially with like even like Walmart stocking shirts for that and everything, and I don't know, it's just been kind of crazy. Just that about like 2 years ago that the show started, and it was kind of just not really well known, and now we're at this point to where Brony is a pretty well known name now.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Now, I know you're big on like the fan art side, or at least have been in the past. You watch a lot of artists and such, and then
Yeah.
uh, is there anybody really that you discovered this year in terms of art that you've really stuck with? I think because you discovered them through like the pony medium.
I don't know. There's been a lot of artists that I've found through, and there none really come out to mind. But like not one in particular. Mostly because like I've just found like so many like such really well done like pieces of art, whether it be from like really well known artists or like lesser known artists or like people I've never heard of, and they put like someone reblogs it on Tumblr, or like I see it like posted somewhere, and then I discover them through like DeviantArt or wherever they're posting their artwork, and I don't know. Again, it guess goes to show. I guess like that's what the one thing I guess like I guess on my side with like the whole art thing, like it's just really really cool and interesting to see what people draw and depict for, like based on the shows, or like what kind of ideas they go from, like that they base on it, or like or what new things they do, or it doesn't have to be like anything like that, but just like basically all the new stuff that I see is just really just really cool, and it just seems like every day like I'm finding like at least one new person that I end up kind of following on wherever they're updating, and but yeah, I was like, even though like I haven't been participating in it that much, like the little that I still do, it's still enough to see quite a bit of all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. I guess that's it. Unless you have anything else you wanted to say, did you?
Uh, Aside from like I can't think of anything else like specific show related. I know like the only thing I will say about that is just that from what I've been seeing, like with like the last half of the second season, and then like we're seeing the third season, it certainly looks like uh they're pushing themselves a bit further in terms of I guess the animating and everything else. Like, and, like even like the songs seem like to have been getting a lot more better.
Right. Okay. Well, how about we move on down to Nemesis? What are you gonna take from this year in terms of the My Little Pony?
Well, in terms of the fandom, it's just the fact that it just exploded this year. I mean, last year was already pretty showing signs of being bigger. I mean, now Hasbro's actually paying attention to us. They're kind of this like they've already kind of done this before with like Transformers and stuff, but they're now like, okay, it's actually a fairly significant male adult fan base. We need to actually, and they want to buy stuff from us, so we better actually pay attention now. So there's this stuff like this, and now they're doing this with like they changed Celestia from pink to white. They were actually released the season 1 DVD. They're releasing them on iTunes and stuff like that. So yeah, we're kind of showing that we're pretty significant now. We're not just a small underground internet movement that no one actually cares about in the real world. And I think a lot of people are still holding on to that old sentiment though about this is just something the internet cares about, no one else even knows. But it's like in the real world, you actually hear people talking about those. Like, you heard about those people who like My Little Pony? Isn't that weird? And it's like you actually hear this in the real world now. So it's like,
And then you cover up your Twilight shirt when you hear that. Like, yeah, I've heard things.
Yeah, those people, huh?
Those people. Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those things where now we are actually significant enough that people who don't really go on to like 4chan or Tumblr or anything know about My Little Pony and its adult fan base. So that's actually probably a significant thing. And then let's see. Of course, there's has been mentioned before, but the conventions really started to kick off this year. I mean, the fact that we have multiple conventions across the U.S. and in other places, and like Europe and Australia as well, is kind of just most shows wouldn't ever have a convention solely for them. They'd always have like a little thing like attach themselves to another already established convention or something, but never their own. And the fact that these things like sell out like that, and these are things like, oh, we're going to have like a couple hundred people we go, and then they explode. And it's like twice the numbers they were thinking of. It's like just shows how many people really actually like the show, and I'm surprised by it, I guess. And another thing, like Funky said, the animation, the show in general, it's also just you can see this sharp increase in like animation quality and everything. It's just amazing when you see, like, if you look, I just watching one of the season 1 episodes. It's like you see, like, sometimes you're like, wow, it's, you don't notice it until you like watch the season 1 and go back to season 3, and you're like, wow, there is a significant difference in quality. And part of the reason we already liked the show was animation. So that's another thing. And then also fandom output has just been crazy. I mean, we started off with like very small things, mostly just, particularly music, to be honest. Like, we started off mostly with just a lot of remixes of existing songs from the show, and usually just people just, did the good old speed up, add a lot of bass, and that was good enough. And we all eat it up. But now it's like people are making original compositions. They're actually mashing songs together. There's a whole bunch more than there were even just a year ago, because that's even exploded. And then everything about the art, the fanfics, all of it's just kind of exploded, because now you got people complaining you can't go anywhere without finding a pony something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So how about like anything kind of narrowing it down a little bit in terms of like specific moments from the show or songs from the show, or even anything that you read, listened to, saw, whatever, that came from the fandom this year? Is there anything that really stood out to you that you really enjoyed or didn't enjoy even? I guess I could also, throw out that kind of the opposite.
Yeah. Enjoyed Ponies the Anthology 2. Hour and a half long video of nothing but skits with ponies, that including and wrapping up with a massive remake of 2001: A Space Odyssey was pretty awesome. There's, in the show itself, like the song Smile, 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 and the songs in general from A Candlelit Wedding, the Candlelit Wedding in general just blew me away. I mean, I was not expecting that. I don't think anyone was. We were all like, we heard it was a wedding episode, and we all freaked out, panicking. Oh no, it's going to become hyper girly again. The show's ruined forever. But it was wound up being one of the best episodes of the entire series, in my opinion. And then you got stuff like, for me personally, it was It's About Time, just a time travel episode in general. I just love that. Even though it didn't wind up being my favorite episode, I still really enjoyed it just because I just love time travel, and it was a bonus that was all about Twilight.
Mm-hmm, of course.
And yeah. And season 3, I mean, them announcing season 3 is going to have the bit of the thing with Twilight's Destiny and stuff, that made me happy. But I guess when it comes to negative, I guess one thing that kind of really disappointed me in general was the whole, I guess what we now refer to as Derpygate, when the last roundup came out. It just, the whole fandom's just reaction in general was just pretty bad. I mean, just from just freaking out because they pulled it, and then attacking people because they had a differing opinion, and just the whole thing was just very, very poor, and I was kind of ashamed of everyone else in the fandom, everyone who's acting like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
And now it's one wondering, and now it's getting to the point where it's like people have noticed we haven't seen Derpy at all in season 3, really. So was it that a direct result of the last roundup thing, or what? But then another thing was back in August when Fighting Is Magic got leaked out by one of the testers, and
yeah,
that's one of those things like, yeah, it's cool, we can play it, but that's kind of a huge breach of trust.
Mm-hmm.
And it really messed them up for a while, and then they kind of had to knee-jerk reaction, and then they had to apologize, and it just kind of became a bit of a mess itself. Another thing which I was kind of part of, but I kind of wish I wasn't, was when we all found out about Princess Cadence and Shining Armor. We all had our freak out about, what is this? Why is there a third alicorn? Why is there another character a previously unknown character that is related to a main character? I mean, it's just one of those things that both sound like bad fanfic ideas, because they had been used previously in bad fanfics. Just, oh look, here's a brother of Twilight or something that never was mentioned before, and then it happened in the show, but it turned out to be okay. Or here's a third alicorn that was never mentioned before, but that turned out to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, we all freaked out because we were just so... I think the problem is a lot of us are letting the fandom stuff and stuff from the actual show blend together too easily, and it's letting us color our judgment. So I guess... And I kind of learned after the Candlelight Wedding, it's like, okay, I really need to just stop making snap judgments on stuff like that. So it's like... So I guess when season 3 started rolling around, we started getting rumors about that. I kind of was able to sit back for a second and just think about stuff before I just said, "Oh my God, that's going to be horrible," or "Oh my God, that's going to be," and stuff like that.
Before you press the nuke everything button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish the fandom would just kind of stop. I guess as a fandom-wide resolution for 2013, I wish the fandom would just kind of stop freaking out over little things and just kind of sit back and relax and trust the right to show staff to just let them do their own thing. They seem to have a good idea of what they're doing most of the time.
Yeah, and that's probably not gonna happen for the most part. But yeah. I know.
Every fan does it though.
Well, at least as long as you don't participate in it.
Yeah, like the Transformers fandom. They had this thing called Ruined Forever because it's just this running joke. Every single time a change is made to Transformers, it's ruined forever. And that's basically what the Pony fandom is doing right now. It's just...
Ruined forever.
What's that? Twilight might get wings? Ruined forever. What's that? Sash might actually join the Wonderbolts? Ruined forever. Luna can peer into dreams? Ruined forever. Yeah. I guess that's all I can think of for now.
Okay, thank you, Nemesis, for that rousing discussion of how you felt about about 2012. I guess we'll move on to Art Fan, our fourth person in here. What will you? I mean, obviously, as it's been well documented, you don't watch the show as much, and you don't really participate in the fandom very much. It's pretty much all that you do. But if there's anything, what do you think you'll take away from 2012 in terms of My Little Pony? And this can be, just a general thing, maybe in terms of some of the episodes that you enjoyed, maybe some music, things like that.
Generally, well, one thing I would say is that my impression of the show has greatly changed. That might just be because I have you guys to beat it into my head every week, but it's also that, I see it for more than just the girly kid show that I thought it was, which is what kept me away from it at first. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just the fact that the show does have the power to change people's perspective on it, just by, it teaches you the lesson about giving things a chance. If you just sit down and watch it, it's not as bad as you might think it is, or as cheesy, or even as kid-like as you might think they are. I mean, a big thing for me was that they throw in jokes like having the Big Lebowski ponies in the bowling alley. It's like, okay, this is a bit more than just for kids. And it's like
2011, you fool.
He's talking about in general.
Close enough.
Well, okay, yeah. Then generally that's what I take away from it: the fact that it has the power to change perspectives, and it changed my perspective.
Okay. Any particular moments that really stood out to you?
Well, let's see.
From the show or anything like that?
Did season 2 end early in 2012?
Yeah, it ended April 2012.
It sure did.
Okay. So that means we got Discord earlier this year, and Discord was...
Discord was beginning of season 2.
Oh, okay, so the end of 2011.
Yeah, so no Discord.
Well, I'm still gonna say Discord was one of the coolest moments of the show. Wish I could say the same.
I guess you had him in some of the promos or something.
and you got John Delancey actually, promoting the crap out of his documentary.
That's
Talking
very
about how
true.
awesome the fandom is.
That's very true, and we could very well be seeing Discord come back again, which is exciting.
We are.
Oh, we will.
And we will.
Yeah, next episode is Discord.
All right, I'm there. So there. Let me see what else.
Alrighty.
Can't really think of too much else actually. I'm not good at thinking up things on the spot. Yeah, that's I guess I don't have much else to add. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
See you guys later. And then he just takes off.
See you guys. Okay. Well,
Skype hang up noise.
I guess I'll finish it off here. For me, this is going to really be marked, as everybody else has said here, or a lot of people have said here, about the year that the fandom really went big.
The year of the pony.
The year of the pony, we'll say. Pony 2012. It was. I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it was decent size, before 2012, but like this is the year where it got really big. I mean, I'm kind of amazed. I was talking to some of the. I recently took over as one of the editors of the Daily Ode, one of the news sites here, and we were talking earlier today with the other writers about, when you became a brony, and I was thinking, I was like, oh, I became one like February 2011. That's like not that early, but I realized actually to them that's very early because the rest of them have. Come in like 2012 pretty much in a lot of cases.
2011 is extremely rare. That's when I became one.
Yeah, it's like that's like when they like they all started in 2012, and like it just amazes me like so many people have like joined. And I guess it's also kind of true with the Ohio Bronies group meetup group that I'm a part of. At the beginning when it started out in November 2011. Well, at least the website started out, and there was a minimal group. I mean, a pretty close, tight-knit group of people, and it's just ballooned since there, starting in about January of last year, 2012. So this thing has just gotten so big, and it's getting all kinds of media attention. It got featured on a lot of big-name sites, either positively or otherwise. But so, I mean, that definitely means that we're definitely in the spotlight here, and that's pretty cool. 2013, that's probably not going to be as much of the case, but in the sense that people have already reported on us, so like, what else to say, unless you want to keep reporting on what's happening, unless this thing gets bigger, which is possible, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But that's really what I'm going to take from it, the main thing that is. And I think if I want to, focus on some things, I'm always going to really remember the season 2 finale because that just was a great episode that I really didn't expect to be as good as it was, and plus I was watching it with a house full of bronies who were just so excited about the whole thing that was really cool. I'll remember, it was the very end of 2012, but I have a new favorite song from the show, and it's called Raise This Barn, and I love it so very much. And, I'll always kind of remember that because before this, This Day Aria was my absolute favorite, but, that song comes along like, oh, God. But I'll remember those two songs plus BBBFF, there were a lot of good songs that came out this year. I'm really happy about that. And speaking of songs, it wasn't just in the sense of like what came from the show. This is the year I discovered the music side of the fandom. And as was mentioned earlier, at the beginning it was more just like remixes and stuff like that. It wasn't much. This is the year where it got big, and everybody wants to be a pony musician. Seems like if you have any sort of instrument with you or slight musical ability, you're like, well, I'm going to do this. And so it got really, really crazy. And kind of bloated, but that means there's a lot of good stuff coming out. And in particular, there was a couple songs that really stood out to me, like a lot of output from Manda Pony, and then the Discord remix, which is considered by many to be like the best we've ever had from the fandom. And even like my personal favorite, the song First Flight by Evening Star, which I first gushed about on this podcast back early on. I think the Candlelight Gardens episode, I believe it was, that came out in about October. Just, one of my favorite pieces of music that I've heard in a while from anything. And, there's so many just little pieces of music that have come out that I'm just like, I still listen to today. And, a year ago, well, 2011, I should say, I probably wouldn't have expected that because all I knew were remixes, a lot of cases. And I was just like, yeah, why do I need to listen to that? There was a couple differences, obviously like Nightmare Night was out in 2011, stuff like that. But, for the most part, it was like, there's some good stuff every once in a while, but it didn't come out often. And now it's like every week there's something, which is really cool. And if I guess if I had to pick something that like I wasn't as big a fan of, there was the whole Derby-gate thing, and there really isn't much else I can say about that because why say more? It's already been said. I guess the other thing is kind of the whole credo of the whole love and tolerance thing, and people preaching that one sense, but then kind of disobeying it in another sense, like turning around and doing it. So it's like it's gotten a little bit like that phrase has gotten a little kind of out of hand in the sense that like, why are we even using it anymore if people aren't really living by it? I mean, like if you're going to say you live by it, then live by it, so like that's kind of become a bit of a tired phrase. And there's a couple things in the fandom in general that I guess have gotten a little tired, but for everything that's gotten tired, there's 2 or 3 more things that have popped up that are new and fresh and exciting. And that's what's really excites me for 2013 is like hopefully seeing more things. And I'm sure there will be something else from the episodes, from the fandom, whichever. And that's going to be really cool. So I can't wait for 2013. But 2012 was a really great year for a lot of things. And I got to go to 2 conventions this year. And I started a pony podcast with you guys. And maybe it was a horrible idea. It was a horrible idea, but we're still trucking along because we don't quit. And
that's right.
Pony
411 never sleeps.
Even when everybody else tells us how terrible we are.
Exactly. You guys can just keep. We don't never give up.
Yes, even when everyone else tells us how terrible Fusion is, we still never stop.
We still hang out with him. But I guess that's it. I guess that's all I've got. Is there anything else you guys kind of have final thoughts about this before we move on?
The world didn't end on December 21st, so all you people can shut up.
That's right. And
you
we kind of inflame that though because we were the ones saying right before that like, oh my god, this is our last episode.
No, you were the one saying that.
I know. Was it me?
Memories are fuzzy. There's
I don't know if I remember it that way. But anyway. So, 2012. Thanks for a great year. Thank you, our listeners, all 2 of you, for a great year as well, or a great first part of a year, I guess. However many months it's been now. I think it's going to be our 5th month now.
Yeah,
we were there for 5 months of the thing, I think.
We started this thing in like August, didn't we?
Yeah. So
August.
We've actually been going a lot longer than it seems.
Than we should have been. We should have quit by now, but nope. Here we are. So, tune in next week. We'll have another topic to discuss. Who knows what it'll be? We'll find out. Well, besides, of course, the comic. But to end the show, as we tend to, we're going to talk about some fan content. And I guess we'll start off with the fanfic. Nemesis is a fanfic this week, and he's going to tell you about it right now.
Boom.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
fanfic again. This one is called 350 by Void Chicken. And yes, EQD has posted it, but I was reading it before they did. So yeah, I'm going to be hipsterish for a bit. Just
You're like
tell you
hipster
that.
glasses.
But anyway, it's fic about time travel, which always makes me happy. And basically
Great Scott.
Yes. Anyway, it's about Sweetie Belle, Twilight's with Sweetie Belle, and suddenly Sweetie Belle collapses, and it turns out she's got a defective heart valve, and there's simply the medical technology just simply isn't there to help her. She's only got a couple months to live, and Twilight, well, decides that no, I'm not going to accept that, and builds a time machine more or less, and goes about a couple hundred years in the future, and yeah. Technology is progressing far enough for Sweetie to get her heart valve replaced with an artificial one.
One made of magic.
Yeah. or something. So but then unfortunately though, the time machine broke in such a way that she's not able to repair it. So now she's stuck 350 years in the future.
Which is why it's called 350.
Yeah.
I get it.
And as the little summary says, it's like a utopia, but all she wants is to go home.
This sounds like a very depressing story.
I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm interested, and I'm wondering if it's going to end with her actually finding a way, or it's just her learning to accept that she's stuck where she is and she has to just deal with it. Find out.
Well, just give it some time, and Doc Brown will show up to help her mod her time machine to the flying version, and then.
Well, anyway, it's only a prologue and 2 chapters right now, and hopefully it'll continue to update on a regular basis, because I'm very much interested in where it's going.
She ends up making a time machine out of her balloon.
All right, well, I guess moving on from the fanfic, we'll talk about some music really quick. I got 3 songs this week that I want you to check out.
Oh, no.
I'm going to breeze through them, not talk about them as much as I usually do. Just kind of give you a general idea of what's going on with them, and then you can go check out for yourself and kind of get an idea for yourself and see if you like it or not. But the first song I've got this week is a tune entitled Trusting You, and it's by Megafork featuring Joe the Loaf.
You see, I'm over friendship, and I need only me. I'm fine with only me.
It's a really nice, mostly acoustic song, sung by Megafork, a female vocalist, and mostly played on acoustic guitar. Just very nice, pleasant little tune. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I can say about it, really. I want you to check it out, and lyrically very interesting, and I think it's going to get a lot of people really talking, if it hasn't already, because it's just a really nice, pleasant little song that, it isn't like up there with like the greats, but few things are. But I think it's a song that a lot of people can, put on their iPods, and if you have an iPod still, and listen to and really enjoy. So that's that song. And a second song I picked this week is called Apology. It's by Wandering Artist. I chose this song because it kind of picks up where the end of Magic Duel left off, with Trixie apologizing to Twilight accepting it, and it kind of goes off on this. It's mostly orchestral, but it has a kind of a fleeting in and out accordion to it, and that's really what caught me to begin with. I'm like, wow, you don't really hear accordion much, anywhere, let alone in pony music. So definitely check it out if you're a fan of the accordion and of pleasant sounding orchestral tunes. Finally, number 3, The Magic of Winter by Orchestral Design, who we have featured on this podcast before. One of the best I think there is in this fandom in terms of orchestral instrumental tunes. Before we started, Fusion actually told me he thought it reminded him a bit of Muse's Exogenesis material, which I can definitely hear. So that's pretty interesting. If you're into that, but if you're into just like really cool orchestral stuff, in this case about winter, definitely check it out. This is featured on a compilation, and I have to actually go find the name of it. But it's it's entitled "Holiday Cheer, Wintertime in Canterlot" by Chords of Chaos. You can check that out. We'll put a download link in the podcast description if you want to download this song and other songs for Name Your Price, I believe it is. It's Name Your Price. There's 6 other songs on there, including plus Magic of Winter. So, yeah, those are the songs I have for this week. I hope you enjoy them, and let me know, of course, if there's any other songs this week that came out that you think, really hit the spot, and I'd be happy to hear them. So, yeah.
I enjoyed all of them.
Yay!
All songs are good songs.
Okay.
Okay, well.
I particularly enjoyed the first and third one. The second one, for some reason, I just kept thinking of France and Ratatouille, but that's probably just me.
I know, me too. I thought it was a very French.
Yeah, very French.
Yes.
Yeah, I certainly got that vibe too.
I think that the second two were both like really nice orchestral type things, but the first one I think was my favorite one. I really like that. I don't know what you would call that kind of style of music, but I like it. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Whatever it is.
It doesn't have to have a name, man. It doesn't have to be labeled.
Yeah, it's right. Okay. Well, I think that's it for the week. Episode 21 has come to a close. Thank you very much for listening through all of our plights and such. And I'm very happy we got all 5 of us in this week. It's really exciting. And, maybe we can do it again sometime soon.
We better.
Like next week,
Episode
perhaps.
42.
We'll see.
And then we never did it again.
Oh, God. But,
and they all started a Grand
anyhow.
Paul's podcast.
Until that time comes again, if you want to check out our older episodes, feel free to do so on YouTube or iTunes or Libsyn. You can find us at all those places. YouTube.com/Pony411. Search us on iTunes, Pony411, or Pony411.libsyn.com. Libsyn is how you spell that. You can also find us on social media. Twitter.com/Pony411 and Facebook.com/Pony411. We have an email address if you have any news that you want to bring to our attention, or email us directly, whatever. Pony411podcast@gmail.com is the way to get a hold of us. As always, if you're interested in just talking to us, you want to comment on things, please do on the YouTube or on the I guess you can't do it on the Libsyn. Just a tweet at us. Can you? Okay, then do it. Oh, do they? Then all right, do it on there. Tweet at us again, Pony411. We also have our own personal Twitter accounts. I am 4string MLP. Then there's Nemesis Prime 1, ArtFan88, Fusion Fox, and Lord Funky Fist. And we will talk to you about all the things, and it'll be really fun.
What if they want to send us a fax? Or a telegram?
Well,
Like, what about a carrier pigeon? How do we...
they can't do a telegram
telegram.
because they discontinued that.
God
They
damn
don't do
it.
telegrams
Wah, wah.
anymore.
If you want to send us a telegram, then
Build a time
Just
machine.
tie
Here.
2 tin cans together, and yeah.
all right. So I guess that's it, guys. Thank you very much for listening. As always, remember to pony responsibly, and we'll see you next week with more pony and more weird rambling on at the end of podcasts, like I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
as I always do whenever I host,
Always
because
do.
I can't stop. I just keep going. I
Going.
can't stop. I just keep
It's like the
going on
Energizer
and
Bunny
on.
talking.
I know, like
What's that? Is that the
I know
theme
Art
song
has
I
to-
hear?
Yeah, I know Art has to take his girlfriend home, but I'm going to keep going anyway. And, like, maybe he'll leave here soon. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just keep him here because he's like, I can't leave yet because I have to keep recording because Kevin's still going. Like, why is Kevin still going? I don't get this. And I really think you guys need to sit down and just think about what it means when you tell me that you want to stop. you want me to stop, because maybe I don't want to stop.
Come
Like,
on.
maybe I want to keep going.
No
maybe
means
I
no,
just want to
Kevin.
keep going.
No means no.
all night
No.
long. And
I feel
there's
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got nothing else. Okay.
That wasn't pointing.
Stand up.
responsibly.
Speak out against cat juggling.
Hello?
The end. And a Merry Christmas was had by all.